I love beautiful showers. And as builders and homeowners, we are always looking for the best technologies to accomplish our renovation. And here's where HYDRO-BLOK, a company that is dedicated in the construction and manufacturing of shower products, comes handy. Now you're going to be asking, what in the world is that thing on the floor? And I encourage you to go to HYDRO-BLOK.com and find all the information that you need for this amazing technology. Now I'm going to go over the installation of the drain system that they have and the steps that you need to take to successfully install your shower. Don't forget to always get in touch with them if you have any questions. So let's start by saying that we want to have a curveless shower, and that's why we want to get in touch with them, and they're going to send us all the parts and all the products that we need. Now let's start with the drain system. You're going to have these small foam covers that are going to help you for the drain system, and I'm going to go over that in a moment. But you have the main drain body right there, and obviously all the parts that will come with them. Now I like to work in clean surfaces so I can have track of all the parts that I have, like this puller over here. This is the drain cover puller, and it comes with a template. So these parts are going to be assembled later on the main drain body, and you have a template, so just in case you can actually stick it on top of a tile, you can cut around and it will fit perfectly inside that cover that is there. You also have the end caps. You're going to have one on the right, one on the left. They are not identical. They are actually designed for each end, so you will actually follow that by following the pattern, the grooves that you see on your drain. And that's an important part that we're going to go over and we're going to assemble later on. You also have a small bottle where you can pour your ABS glue and these jigs. One jig will make a small perforation, the other one will help you to countersink with the countersink drill bit that they'll send you, the holes where you're going to install your screws and you're going to assemble the entire main drain body. Now this part that you see here, these little inserts are labeled with letters A, B, C, and D. You're going to find the one that corresponds to the area, to the zone that you're going to cut later on. I'm going to show you step by step. Because this drain is made to fit exactly where you have your opening, you're gonna have a lot of parts that are gonna help you along the way to protect the drain and to add some support, like these aluminum rails that are gonna go on each side once you finish assembling your main drain body. You also are gonna realize that these parts that are here are gonna be easy to access, and so you're not gonna have a problem cleaning your drain. Now, if you have a new engineer beam design house, these braces that are here, these brackets will help you. They will send you this and they will help you to actually lower your floor so you can actually achieve that transition-less shower. And in my case, I have a conventional construction with joists, and what we're going to do is we're just going to remove the area where we are going to work, and we are going to relocate the drain. See, before I had the idea of putting my drain right in the middle like normal, but you can actually following these steps and following the heights over here is about 1.25 inches over there. If you were putting it against the wall, or if you put it right in the middle of your floor, it will guide you through all the steps that you need to take over there. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the drain from the center and I'm going to put it towards the entrance of the shower. That means that carefully I'm going to remove the existing drain that is there, follow the measurements that are here, use the template later on to set where my cutouts are going to be, and get ready to go. Now remember that I have PVC over here and we have ABS on our drain, so we want to make sure that we have that transition, and I'm going to go over it in a second. So go ahead, and now since I have a different height now, I'm going to go ahead and consider that I'm going to install my pipe. So I will be working flush with the joist, because now the joist height is going to be my final height. That means that I'm going to build up on the sides. I'm going to use some 2x2s, and I'm going to build on the sides a little bit of support so I can actually lower the plywood. And my plywood now, if you notice, I'm actually counting the height of the plywood, the thickness of the plywood, and I'm lowering it so it can be flush. And then I'm going to cut some strips of plywood, and I'm just going to run the plywood parallel with the joist right there. So it's a simple job to do, and now is the first cut. The rough cut, you're gonna go ahead and measure and make sure that you cut about 1/4 inch away from the wall. You don't have to be extremely precise in that case, but you want to make sure that you are straight when you're making your cuts. And for this, I encourage you to use your wet saw. You want to make sure that your cuts are as straight as possible. And by using the wet saw, I'm not going to overheat the material, and it's going to be a nice and flush and smooth cut. Now you're going to have a little bit of leftovers from the cuts, and you want to make sure that you remove them that really well. Remember, this is the first of the 2 cuts that you're going to do to your main drain body. Later on, you're going to go ahead and do the final cut, and I'm going to show you how it is. Now, the template is going to show me exactly where it goes, and that little line that is there, that small line is going to be the edge of the plywood, and that is the one that I'm going to put against the other height. And with a small 1/8 of an inch drill bit, I'm going to just go ahead and make some marks so I can make that rectangular pattern over there with in my case this small square, so I can cut it. I'm going to use my regular oscillating saw to make the cuts over here and make sure that I have the area nice and clean. Obviously, I love to dry fit everything that I do, because once you glue things, it's really hard to undo all that stuff, especially with PVC or ABS material. So you want to make sure that you kind of dry fit all these things, make sure that everything is nice and straight, that is the right height, and then you move forward from that point. If you need to do any adjustment, do it right now. Now you're gonna do the second cut. In the second cut, you're gonna be about 1/8 of an inch away from the walls. You're gonna cut this carefully, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure exactly right where the upper part of your end cap starts. And that means that whenever you're making that little line, you wanna go ahead and mark exactly right there. You don't wanna cut to the size of your end cap. You wanna make sure that you cut on the, with the top of the end cap. Now, let's go to find the ABS glue. That's the one that you're going to use to put all your drain body together. And in my case, I'm going to use this transitional glue because I'm going to go from ABS to PVC. So it's important because later on, if the parts start malfunctioning, it's because the right adhesive was not used, and that's why I encourage you to go and find these glues. In my case, if you have ABS to ABS or black pipe to black pipe, is not a problem. So now, okay, like I said, we wanna dry fit all these pieces, make sure that we do the second cutout, and this second cutout is at the end. You're gonna find that there are 2 sections on the end caps that need to be recessed about 1/8 of an inch or 3/16 of an inch. So you wanna go ahead and make those little cutouts and prepare that area so it can be as flush as possible. Now let's work with the jigs. The jigs are gonna work as follows. You're gonna use the first jig to make sure that you have the first perforation, and the second jig, so that will be a recess or countersink. So let's do the first cut by just making that a small little hole, and later on we're gonna switch to the other jig that we have, and we're gonna make that perforation so we can have now a countersink hole that once you install your screw is gonna be nice and flush. That is the important thing. You're gonna have 2 of these holes made on each end of the main drain body. That is important for you to work with. Now remember that you have these zones, and you want to match the zones, the sections under your main drain body with the 2 inserts that are going to help you to support the main drain body. That is a crucial part of your installation, because you're going to have 8 pieces. You want to match the one that correspond to that stuff. Now, I don't want you to have any confusion in the way you're going to assemble your end caps. Let's start again. You're going to use a little bit of ABS glue inside the little bottle that you have there, and the steps that you want to take to assemble these are simple but important. You want to go ahead and put the little insert there. Now, if it doesn't fit because the little piece that is there is out, you want to go ahead and cut it with something that's going to cut it nice and smooth. You're going to put it back there, and now you can assemble your piece really well. The screws and the holes on the main drain body and the end cap are going to line up really well. So let's have that in consideration. Apply a little bit of the ABS glue on those 2 grooves that you're going to find there, and that's where you're going to put your little support. In my case, I didn't have to cut anything on it because it was nice and smooth. It went inside really well, so that is an important thing for you to remember, that you install it that way. Clean the excess of your ABS glue because this thing will solidify really quick, so you want to make sure you have something to clean with, and do exactly the same thing on the other side. You want to install the parts correctly on both sides, and you want to have them ready for the installation on the main drain body. Don't put the end covers yet, the top covers yet, those small little sections there. You want to make sure that you assemble that part really well by applying another nice bit of ABS glue right there on the end cap, and you're gonna seat the main drain body on a piece of block, so it will be nice and straight. You don't want to screw these things in a slanted way diagonally, because you want to make sure that you have a nice complete seal. And that is, once you finish building this thing, you can actually put a plug in the middle and you can test your drain. So make sure that you don't have leaks around, make sure that everything is nice and sealed. In fact, you want to go under it and you want to apply another nice amount of ABS glue under it, so you can have the entire thing really sealed. So once you finish installing those two screws, you want to go ahead and put those end cap covers, and they're going to be sealed really well. And you're going to use the little cotton swabs. If you have some excess inside, you want to make sure that you clean all that. You don't want to have excess glue inside your drain system. That is an important thing. Obviously, you're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side of the drain. You want to make sure that you apply a nice bit of ABS glue under as well, so you will seal this really well. Again, remember that you want to have a nice surface before you continue installing anything on your main drain body. And now that everything is assembled, we want to go ahead and put the rail support. These aluminum rails, the small one is for the slot side, is actually marked. That means that it goes on the outside of your main drain body, and the bigger one is going to go in the back. So you can actually see here that the small one goes where the groove where the water goes in goes, right? So they both have glue in two of the sides, and you want to go ahead and use those two sections that have the glue to attach it to both of the edges, the L edge of both sides of the main drain body. You want to go ahead and measure really well. They both should measure the same distance, and go ahead and cut it with your either grinder. You want to make sure that you cut as nice as possible, or your wet saw if you have the right blade. So go ahead and apply a good amount of pressure. Make sure that it's nice and sealed. Install it really well, because that glue is really strong. Now, just as we did with the end caps, we want to go ahead and make 3 perforations in each and recess those perforations. Make sure that you put 3 screws that are nice and flush. So we're going to go ahead and install it really well. Some people may use some clamps to clamp it down if they don't have probably the strength to install it, but as you see, you don't need to do that. You can actually apply some pressure and it will be nice and straight. But it is really important for you to make those 6 perforations, 3 on each side of your main drain body, to provide that support that your kind of finished product will need. So that is a crucial part of your installation, and make sure that you use your jigs correctly and apply the pressure on top of a block, because that is something that you definitely don't want to miss. You want to make sure that you apply some pressure, including those little wood blocks or something that will give you that support underneath. Now, the joint sealant that you have here is exclusively from HYDRO-BLOK, and you're going to use that to do the final part of our installation, which is attaching, fastening, gluing our main drain body to the surface that is there. And that's why it's extremely important for you to make sure that everything is nice and clean. So keeping the working area clean is crucial for your materials to adhere properly to the floor. So that is crucial, and you're gonna go ahead and apply a heavy bit of the joint sealant from HYDRO-BLOK, and just kind of avoid the little areas where you made the recesses for the end caps, which is, you don't want to put too much material in there. You want to make sure that it's nice and flush. Again, we want to dry fit all these things before we do that, and we want to spares. We want to make sure that we distribute that glue evenly. So I'm using this triangular 1/8 of an inch trowel, and I encourage you to use this one and no more than 1/4 of an inch trowel to apply this material. Then right immediately after that, you want to go ahead and install your main drain body, meaning like the entire body that you have there, entire drain. Remember that transition glue? This transition glue is going to be used right now from the ABS to our PVC. So it's crucial for you to use this transition if you're going to apply like that. Go ahead and apply some good pressure, and you have 2 holes at the end of the end caps. You want to go ahead and install those 2 screws really well, and you are set. This is the part that you want at the end. You want to make sure that it's nice and straight, and that is precise there on your opening, and that is ready for your shower pen, which I'm going to show you in the next video. So I'm really pleased with this product. HYDRO-BLOK is doing a really nice job creating these components for us builders to work with. And again, I encourage you to go ahead and ask questions. Make sure that you ask and you follow all the instructions that are there. Send them an email, get in touch with them over the phone, and now you have a whole bunch of possibilities, because now this opens a whole bunch of different designs that I was limited before to do because I didn't have the product available. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and like my videos. I'll see you soon.